Imagine walking into your favorite department store and nothing works. No card machines, no loyalty points, no online orders. That was the reality for millions of Marks & Spencer customers after a devastating ransomware attack. But how did it all start? A simple phone call to the IT help desk. Welcome to the Cybersecurity Professor. Today we dive deep into the Marks & Spencer cyber attack, how it happened, who's behind it, and what we all can learn. In April 2025, Marks & Spencer, one of the UK's most iconic retail giants, suffered a crippling cyber attack. The fallout was immediate and widespread. Here's the timeline. Late February 2025, the attackers first gained initial access. April 19th through the 20th, suspicious network activity was detected during the Easter weekend. April 24th, systems across the enterprise were encrypted. Investigators quickly identified two groups responsible: Spider, a Western-based threat actor known for social engineering help desks, and DragonForce, a ransomware as a service gang that provided the encryption payload. The damage? Encrypted VMware servers, exfiltrated personal customer data, and nearly all digital services offline. Click and collect, contactless payments, loyalty programs, and restocking systems were all shut down. According to reports, over 9.4 million customers were impacted. Names, addresses, birthdays, and order histories were accessed. Thankfully, no payment data or passwords were taken, but the stolen information still poses a major identity fraud risk. Let's take a look at how they got in. The attack began not with a virus or a breach of code, but with a phone call. Spider, known for their social engineering skills, called a help desk operator employed by Tata Consultancy Services, TCS, one of M&S's third-party contractors. Pretending to be internal IT staff, they convinced the agent to reset credentials and disable multi-factor authentication. Just like that, they had a foothold. Once inside, the attackers dumped the ntds.dit file, the database containing Active Directory password hashes. With those hashes, they cracked administrative passwords offline and used them to escalate privileges across the network. They remained hidden for weeks, moving laterally, learning the environment and identifying high-value targets. By the time Easter weekend arrived, they were already ready to strike. Let's look at the deployment and data exfiltration. On April 24th, the payload dropped. DragonForce ransomware hit hundreds of VMware ESXi servers, encrypting critical infrastructure in minutes. The hackers used a double extortion tactic. Not only were M&S systems locked down, but the attackers also claimed to have stolen personal data, which they threatened to leak unless a ransom was paid. The stolen data included customer names, birth dates, addresses, loyalty card history, and more. Even though credit card info was not taken, this kind of data can still be used for targeted phishing or fraud. Next is the operational impact. The ransomware caused immediate chaos. Stores had to go back to paper-based systems. Imagine a modern retail suddenly working like it's 1995. Employees were writing down purchases by hand, tracking inventory with pen and paper, and manually processing returns. It slowed operations to a crawl. Refrigerated goods spoiled due to logistical failure. With inventory tracking down and deliveries halted, refrigerated food sat in storage too long. In some cases, cooling systems tied to digital monitoring failed, leading to spoiled products and major waste. Loyalty programs like Sparks and digital receipts stopped working. Customers couldn't access points, discounts, or even proof of purchase. This eroded trust and damaged long-term customer relationships. Online ordering, a key part of M&S's strategy, was down for over 6 weeks. At a time when online retail is critical, M&S was dead in the water. Orders couldn't be placed or fulfilled, and customer service was overwhelmed. Financially, the damage was severe. Analysts estimated M&S lost 30 million francs a week. That's a staggering hit. Every week of downtime meant millions lost in revenue. Their markup cap dropped by 1 billion francs within days. The stock market responded instantly, reflecting both immediate losses and future uncertainty. Who were the attackers? Spider is not your typical hacker group. They speak native English, often recruit from gaming forums like Discord, and specialize in tricking IT staff. They're part of a loose network known as The Com, responsible for other major breaches like MGM Resorts. DragonForce is a ransomware gang that sells tools to other criminals. They get a cut of every ransom paid. They've been tied to attacks across Europe and Asia, and they're known for aggressive negotiation tactics and high-profile leaks. What might have happened behind the scenes? Based on known tactics, here's what likely happened behind the scenes. Hackers probably harvested credentials via phishing or password spraying before the help desk call. It's common to test emails and passwords from old breaches to find accounts that will still work. This might have given them initial access to internal tools or systems. They disable endpoint detection tools, map backup servers, and search for weak points. Once inside, they likely turned off antivirus and detection programs to avoid being caught. Then they started exploring, looking for crown jewels, backup servers, admin accounts, and valuable data. On the day of the attack, they launched scripts that encrypted machines in a synchronized strike. A well-coordinated ransomware campaign hits everything at once to prevent defenders from isolating the infection. The scripts ran automatically across the network, locking files and displaying ransom notes. These attackers didn't just want money, they wanted to cause maximum disruption. How about response and recovery? M&S acted quickly and decisively. They shut down all systems. The first step was containment, pull the plug to stop the spread. This meant accepting temporary chaos in favor of long-term control. They engaged cyber forensics firms and law enforcement. Within hours, external experts were investigating. These teams hunted for indicators of compromise and reverse engineered the malware. They notified regulators and customers. Under GDPR, companies must disclose data breaches quickly. M&S sent emails to affected users and filed incident reports with the UK's Information Commissioner's Office. And finally, they refused to pay the ransom, instead restoring systems from backups. This is always a tough call. Paying could have restored systems faster, but it also encourages more attacks. Instead, M&S relied on backups, which slowed recovery but preserved integrity. They forced password resets across the enterprise and rebuilt over 600 systems in a phased recovery. That's not a quick reboot. Each system has to be wiped, checked, restored, and reconnected. It took weeks of careful planning and 24/7 effort. By early June, most in-store systems were operational. By mid-July, online services were restored. Customers gradually returned, but rebuilding trust will take longer. Let's take a look at lessons learned. Here are the takeaways every company should remember. Number 1, third-party access must be strictly controlled and segmented. Vendors should never have unrestricted access. Use segmentation to contain potential damage. Limit what each account or contractor can touch. Number 2, help desk teams need mandatory verification protocols. Never reset passwords or change access without strict multi-factor verification. Callbacks, supervisor approvals, and identity checks are a must. Number 3, multi-factor authentication is only effective if not bypassable. Multi-factor authentication can be disabled if staff are tricked. Use conditional access policies and enforce hardware-based tokens when possible. Number 4, password hash stores like ntds.dit must be isolated and monitored. Domain controller databases are a goldmine. Limit access, use encrypted storage, and monitor for unusual reads or exports. Number 5, backups must be offline and tested. If backups are online, ransomware can encrypt them too. Keep at least one backup offline and rehearse restoration regularly. And number 6, social engineering remains the #1 way hackers get in. Teach staff how to spot fake requests. Simulate phishing attempts. Create a culture where it's okay to say no and escalate suspicious activity. This attack wasn't about hacking machines, it was about hacking people. Marks & Spencer will recover, but the message is clear. Cybercrime is no longer about lone hackers and hoodies. It's professional, coordinated, and often it starts with a phone call. If you run a business, lead IT, or just want to stay informed, learn from this story. The next attack could be one call away. I'm the cybersecurity professor. Hit subscribe for more war stories from the digital front lines, and stay safe out there. See you on the next video.